by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
It's another gorgeous afternoon across mid-Michigan. Satellite and radar still showing a lot of sunshine across our area, but notice cloud cover beginning to develop over Lake Michigan. That'll slowly be moving into our region as we go throughout the rest of the day. Temperatures also really impressive. 56 degrees in Marshall, 55 the current temperature in Hillsdale, and we're at 53 degrees in both Lansing and St. John's. We will stay dry with cloud cover increasing across the area as we go throughout the rest of our Thursday. The chance for strong to severe storms will be moving into the region tomorrow evening. We'll have more details on that in just a bit. 6 News at Noon starts right now.
WMMS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at Noon.
Thousands of Michigan-based federal workers caught in the crossfire as the Department of Government Efficiency continues to slash government spending. It's our top story at noon. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Megan Vaselli. The Senate Labor Committee held a special hearing where some of those displaced Michigan workers shared their experiences with these mass terminations. Karina Prieto is here for you now with how they say the cuts are affecting their lives. Karina?
Megan, this morning's hearings focused on how recent policy changes are affecting the lives of former and current federal employees and how our Michigan communities will feel these cuts. Speak at the hearing. Egan explained federal cuts have resulted in the loss of federal mediators necessary for important services like negotiating union contracts. He's worried this could lead to worker strikes and ultimately hurt critical industries. A few displaced workers from here in Michigan also testified, including Nicole Rice, who worked at the NOAA Great Lakes Environmental Research Lab in Ann Arbor. Rice says she was terminated in February after receiving a recent promotion with a probationary period that she says left her vulnerable to these cuts.
After being fired, my access to health care quickly vanished, and with no information provided on how to secure interim coverage. I wasn't given the paperwork required to file for unemployment. My income, my health care, and my dignity were stripped away without warning and without cause. These federal jobs don't just represent paychecks, they represent public value. They safeguard our environment, ensure accurate weather forecasting, protect our food supply, and support emergency response. When these employees are silenced or fired, when their missions are derailed, Michigan suffers.
Rice went on to say the research she was working on at the lab in Ann Arbor plays a big part in predicting severe weather and weather emergencies, which she says is imperative for safety and economic development here in Michigan. A representative from the Department of Housing and Urban Development also shared that the DOGE cuts will affect housing availability and programs for housing assistance. I'll have more on this morning's hearing later on in our evening shows, but for now, I'll send it back to you, Megan.
Karina, thank you. Meanwhile, at this very moment, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer is taking steps to figure out how budget cuts could affect our healthcare and hospitals. Here's a live look at a ceremony in Royal Oak where she's signing a new executive directive. It will require state health officials to put together a report detailing how anticipated cuts to Medicaid could affect healthcare here in Michigan. State officials say the federal program helps almost 3 million Michiganders, which is about a quarter of the population. Several members of Congress and a hospital president are joining the governor today. We'll have more on this story coming up later tonight on 6 News. As all of this is happening, President Donald Trump is lashing out at Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell over his comments that tariff uncertainty could pose a risk to the economy. As Natalie Brand reports, the White House continues to defend its tariff policy, even as it faces a new lawsuit from California.
President Trump is meeting with Italy's prime minister today to discuss tariffs. The president has been touting negotiations with trading partners and attacking Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell for highlighting the risk and uncertainty around the policy.
The level of tariff increases announced so far is significantly larger than anticipated, and the same is likely to be true of the economic effects.
Powell says that could include higher inflation, slower growth, and higher unemployment. Though he didn't use the term, those factors raise concern about stagflation.
It's a difficult place for central banks, to be in.
President Trump on Truth Social slammed Powell's report as wrong, saying the Fed chair's termination can't come fast enough. Powell's term as chair expires in 2026.
The Trump administration is also facing a new lawsuit over tariffs from California. The suit contends the president lacks the authority to unilaterally impose tariffs.
No state is poised to lose more than the state of California.
Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom argues his state, the world's fifth largest economy with industries from tech to agriculture, stands to lose billions. The White House continues to defend its tariff policy, calling it a, quote, historic effort to address the national emergency of a persistent trade deficit. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
And speaking of cuts, Michigan State University staff members are back out on campus today. They're talking about how cuts to the U.S. Agency on International Development are taking a toll on people right here on campus. Students and researchers gathered at The Rock last night, many of them from the Colleges of Education and Agriculture and Natural Resources. They say the Trump administration's freezing of federal aid doesn't just affect people in other countries, it also affects the work researchers are doing at MSU.
We always work with students as researchers. They always support the research community, and so the opportunities for them, especially to work internationally, are limited as a result of these funding cuts. And maybe more importantly, we aren't able to bring in scholars from other countries in order to advance their careers as professionals in the agricultural sciences.
And again, students and staff are back out at The Rock today with an informational booth where people can learn about the research being done and how to advocate for it. They'll be there until 2 this afternoon. Well, there were some unusual guests at the Michigan Capitol this morning. Take a look. This included a Yeti. It was one of the mascots from some of Michigan's community colleges. They were joined by the presidents and leaders from 31 community and tribal colleges who came to make their case to lawmakers for more money. They say more than 250,000 Michiganders study with them each year, learning skills and job training so they can contribute to the state's economy.
We have representatives from all 31 of Michigan's public and tribal colleges here to talk to lawmakers about the importance of community colleges. We really are the unified voice for Michigan's community colleges, and we have presidents, trustees, and students, and even a bunch of mascots here talking to lawmakers about our legislative priorities.
Community colleges say they grant more than 10,000 certifications and 20,000 degrees each year. There's a new candidate in the race for Michigan's opening U.S. Senate seat. Abdul El-Sayed threw his cap into the ring this morning. If that name sounds familiar, it's because he has run a statewide race before. The Ann Arbor man ran for the Democratic nomination for governor back in 2018, a primary that was, of course, won by Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Sayed is a University of Michigan grad and Rhodes Scholar who, among other things, ran the Detroit and Wayne County health departments. Capitol correspondent Tim Skubic will have a closer look at his campaign later tonight on 6 News.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
It is a very sunny, but more importantly, a very comfortable afternoon across mid-Michigan, all thanks to this area of high pressure that we have to our southeast. That high pressure system will help to keep us dry as we go throughout the rest of the day and help to move a warmer air mass into the region, which will allow our high temperatures to climb into the mid-60s. We are also keeping an eye on an area of low pressure and its associated warm and cold front to our west. This system will be moving in later on tonight and throughout the day tomorrow, giving us the chance for a couple of strong to severe storms. The Storm Prediction Center still maintains this level 2 out of 5 slight risk for strong to severe storms across all of mid-Michigan. The main time frame of concern really going to be very late Friday evening into the early morning hours of the day on Saturday. The biggest concern I have with the storms at that time really going to be the potential for them to produce some strong damaging wind gusts at or above 60 miles per hour, and we also could see some large quarter-size hail in any of the stronger thunderstorms that develop across the region. Good news is there's a low threat for tornadic activity across mid-Michigan. It's still not completely out of the question, but it's still something that we need to keep in the back of our mind as we go throughout our Friday. PrecisionCast going to remain incredibly quiet as we go throughout the rest of our Thursday. We'll notice a slight increase in cloud cover this afternoon and evening. Mostly cloudy skies in the forecast tonight, with that first round of precipitation moving in after midnight. But notice PrecisionCast keeps the activity relatively light. Only a couple of scattered sprinkles, maybe a non-severe thunderstorm will be possible as well. But that activity will be moving out by right around 5-6 o'clock Friday morning. We have dry conditions in the forecast for the first half of the day. This particular model is starting to try to develop a couple of pop-up showers and thunderstorms across the area Friday afternoon, but the main line of storms that has our attention really going to be moving in late Friday night into early Saturday morning. We stop the clock right at 2 o'clock. This is when that cold front is going to be moving through. The problem is the timing of this system is really not going to be ideal for the potential for severe weather, since we normally don't start to see any sort of severe storms that early in the morning. But of course, still something that we will need to monitor as we go forward. We have a lot of sunshine in place across the area this afternoon. Temperatures in Lansing sitting in the low 50s, slightly breezy outside, winds currently out of the south-southeast at 11 miles per hour. Some thin high-level clouds over in Grand Ledge, temperatures at 54 degrees after a peak wind gust of 10 miles per hour. And a very similar situation over in downtown Jackson, winds gusting as high as 20 earlier this morning and sitting at a very comfortable 54 degrees. Notice almost a carbon copy in terms of the sky cover over in Hillsdale, temperatures currently sitting right at 55. As we go throughout the rest of the day today, we will make it up to a high in the mid-60s, which is above average for this time of year. The chance for those showers and thunderstorms, again, going to be incredibly isolated Friday afternoon, so everyone still has some time to enjoy that lovely high of 76 degrees. We do slightly cool things down for the weekend. I did re-add in the chance for just a couple of showers very late in the day on Sunday, but most of your Easter egg hunt should be in the clear.
Okay, good. Ours is going to be inside either way.
Oh yeah, but temperatures are going to be in the 40s, so if it's outside, bundle up. If it's inside, it's more ideal.
Yeah, just this year, we're going to keep it inside.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm excited for the warm temps tomorrow.
I know, it's going to feel lovely.
All right, Kendall, thank you. Coming up, we've been talking a lot about economics, and we'll have some important numbers for Michigan and the nation as a whole. So keep it right here.